First name's Donnie, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. Beautiful day, beautiful day. We're here with the New Life Recovery Show. If I think better, I do better. Very special guest today, longtime compadre in the struggle, brother Bilal Ali. Peace, brother. How are you?
Oh, fine, Donnie, and peace be unto you too, as we say in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. So we're here today to talk about what you get to do professionally. Everybody, hey, look, can I do my Bilal Ali impression?
Yeah, you go ahead, Donnie. You got liberty.
That was it. Was it good?
That was pretty good.
My man.
Hey, man, one thing, man, I love about you, man, and you should get more support than we do. But oftentimes, the jewels that we have in our own community, we treat them like cut glass and treat other uh, members outside of our community as diamonds. And that baffles my mind, man. You, the news before the news, you get to the root cause of the news. You're unbought, you're unapologetic about who you are. And I respect that.
I get to do it because of people like you.
Well,
You've always supported me. You've always supported Be More News, A1 from day one. You can't buy that kind of support, man. That comes from the heart.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Straight from the
So
heart.
let me just tell you, this show is about not just recovery from substance abuse or gambling. That's what they do at New Life Recovery Center, brother Vin McCormick. But this is the mental health show. So if I think better, I do better. And
Absolutely.
we try to cover all areas of life
Mhm.
because it's about this. We do push-ups to keep the body strong. We swim, we walk, ride a bike. We read, to work the mind.
Mhm.
But this is about that spirit, making sure the spirit and the mind are, and the body all in good places. And so we like to bring on people who can help us on that journey because it's a journey.
Oh, absolutely.
So tell us where you are. What
Well,
where
let
you
me
where you
let me give you a little bit of my background in this recovery field. Um, I've worked in this field basically all my adult life. Uh, I started out as an addiction trainee counselor uh, in 1972. And I just thought the most honorable business that you could go into is helping people. And so I just had a passion because I also saw things surround me because uh, my teenage years was I like to call them the roaring 60s. A lot of black consciousness during that era. We're coming into our own. But more importantly, it just taught me a kinship with my fellow brothers. And I'm not just specifically making that a racial connotation. I'm talking about as human beings. Uh, and I just decided that I wanted to uh, get a better insight into my own mind, my own behavior, what influences in my environment had an impact on my thinking, what I saw, what I seen, my core belief system. And I went on. Uh, at first, initially, I dropped out of school in the 12th grade. I eventually went back, like D.L. Hughley say, and got my GED. And from there, I went to Essex Community College and got my associate degree. I got my bachelor's degree from the University of Baltimore in applied psychology. And from there, I got my master's degree from Coppin State University. I got to give a shout out to them Eagles, man, because President Jenkins, man, I'm proud of that guy, man. He's really doing a wonderful job, man. And I went on. It's actually Dr. Bilal Ali. I went and got my doctoral degree in healthcare administration from the University of Virginia in Lynchburg. And so, uh,
Phenomenal.
so I just feel that this is what people have to be really aware of, Don. I know you're conscious. We always think about uh, electrical engineering, but there's one important aspect of engineering, and that's social engineering. And social engineers uh, develop policies and practices that they know that there's a predictable uh,
Outcome.
outcome. And so a brother told me, he said, I said, man, I don't like the term the hood. So he said, well, that's where you live at. You live in the hood. So I said, what do you mean? I said, I live in a community. He said, no, you don't. He said, and this was reference to Dick Gregory. He said, people who live in a community control their schools, the hospitals, and the economics of the community. You don't live in a community that control that. And it's like, wow, it just went, it just resonated with me so deeply. I said, man, you're right. Because Donnie, I was listening to you, I think it was last month, and I called you because the conversation veered off about black politicians. And as you know, I was a former state delegate myself in the 41st district. And we have all of these black and brown politicians, but it doesn't translate on a return on our investment in our political capital, because the Maryland Legislative Black Caucus has the largest caucus, I believe, in the whole United States. We have a black mayor, we have a black city council, and the majority of the city council members are black. But there's no correlationship to how that extends to our community. Bernie Sanders came here and say we look like this is a war-torn country. Now I'm really optimistic about our governor West. I think him and Brandon has formulated a good partnership to start addressing some of those systemic issues, not symptoms. See, we have been addressing symptoms and not the root causes of how a lot of these things came about. And until we address the root cause, we're just treating symptoms. If you go to the doctor and you tell the doctor you got a headache and he give you 2 Tylenols, that's just treating the symptoms. You
What
may
caused the
have a tumor.
We got more heroin on Pennsylvania Avenue than Afghanistan.
Make no mistake about it. And guess what? As long as it's contained in certain communities, it's not a problem.
Don't let it go to Guilford.
Oh, woo!
But
yeah,
people from Guilford come here at the cop.
absolutely. Every day. But it only became a medical health related issue
When it started affecting white people.
Exactly. That's
Nancy Reagan said, just say no when crack cocaine came out. Just say no.
I wish it was that simple. You could wave a wand and and that would be it. But no, it's not that simple. You just can't say no. You have to treat those underlying conditions that motivate people to want to use. And I always say, I tell all my guys and ladies that I treat is that drugs are not the problem. And what do I mean by that? Drugs is a methodology of how you cope with some unpleasant trauma or experience. You follow me? So you use the drugs because you know you can manipulate your feelings, your moods by relying on a substance. But that doesn't deal with those underlying causes like the trauma. We done normalize things so much that trauma in and of itself is just, oh, that's somebody get killed. You go through the city and every block, whether you go through Sandtown or West Baltimore, East Baltimore, and you see balloons on a light pole, that symbolized that there has been some type of killing in the city.
Some kind of trauma.
Exactly. And so we have normalized things, and it's impacting us and affecting us. And you have a lot of social determinants, such as poverty, and especially concentrated poverty. You know,
Undereducation, underemployment, cats want to stand on a corner all day.
All day long.
You made me think of Freddie Gray. Now, with all due respect to the mayor at the time, I envisioned as soon as Freddie Gray happened, a bunch of Winnebagos lined up West North Avenue and East Monument Street with counselors in there. So that people could digest the trauma they just experienced.
That they saw.
Down the street, I saw a car on fire. And the first thought came to my mind, is it time to go? And then something say, just stay here.
Well, that was an interesting time during the death of Freddie Gray. I was working for the Baltimore City State's Attorney as one of her community liaisons. So I was up close and understood that whole experience from a different perspective. And I'm gonna tell you, man, it was heart-wrenching just to think that we could treat any human being the way that man was treated was unconscionable.
I tell you what still baffles me. Everybody saw the white cop put the knee in his back. The whole world saw it. And living here in Sandtown, they say the cops came and took all of the cameras, all of the footage from the cameras in Gilmore Homes. But everybody saw the white cops. What never made sense to me is where they get 3 black cops from. And I don't want you to go off the reservation. I'm just saying from a spectator standpoint, it's like, okay, everybody saw these 3. Where these 3 come from? And we know the fraternal order police, heavily white boy, and the 3 black cops end up going on trial. The white boys never went on trial. That's the part I get charging them. I get all of the things that she did. Marilyn Mosby became an international hero for doing something that was unprecedented. I just didn't understand the black cops, particularly Alicia White, because she went to church just around the corner in New Bethlehem. And she was revered in the community as an icon. It was like, something ain't right about this, but we are where we are. And, next year will be 10 years. Do you realize that?
Yeah, just that quick. I know. I was just at her daughter's, oldest daughter, birthday party, Sweet 16. And I look at some of the pictures and I say, wow.
She was 6 years old then.
Yes. 16
years
old. Yep. So, yeah, I get it, Donnie. But I'm familiar with Vince McCormick, he's doing some phenomenal good work in the community.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why he's doing good work is it's not about money or monetary reward. He's actually trying to fill a void to help those people who need access to treatment so they can restructure their lives and become productive members of society. I big shout out to him, man. You know, I remember when he first started,
Do
and
you?
he just
24 years ago, or the business?
I'm talking about it's been, I think he started out with one facility, him and a
Okay.
partner on Park Avenue. And
Okay.
from there, he started some residential. He's got outpatients. I mean,
He said he
he's
was
doing some good
pretty
work,
good.
man.
He said he's really good at rehabbing houses. I've seen some of his work.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is a master carpenter too, a contractor. I forgot all about that. And he has the hotel across the street
Yes.
from Mitchell Courthouse.
Yes. Well, he's working on getting the old Radio One, and then upon getting that, he'll have the whole block.
That whole block, yeah, that's right. Because Radio One used to be on the bottom floor. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that. Okay.
He
Yeah.
serves, but we went to high school together at Poly back in the late 70s.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, he's a good man, and he's doing some good work, and he's helping a lot of people, man. Because at the end of the day, no matter what you do, if you ain't trying to help somebody or you has helped somebody, all of it's for naught, man. You know, you ain't taking no money with you. It don't make no difference how much money you make or whatever the impact. I
They
think
say you never see an armored truck following a hearse.
no way. You are absolutely right. And I think Vince get it. He really gets it, and he's a good businessman too. And he has a very good business model, and uh, his concept, new life recovery. Uh, when you embrace recovery and you embrace treatment, a new life can be developed, and people need to see that guys who have experienced addiction, incarceration, and etc. Uh, do some transformative things. I ain't talking about no transformative leadership cliches and all that. I'm talking about a transformative life.
Yeah, starting
And
up here.
absolutely,
Because
because
70% of people that become incarcerated, they become a part of the recidivism percentage. 70% go back. We live in
within
America.
3 years.
America has 5% of the world's population, but 25% of the incarcerated people. 1 in 4 of the people incarcerated in the world are right here in America. 38% are black men, and black women are the fastest growing demographic. We only 13% of the population, but we star in the prison movie.
Yep, exactly. Because it's such, see, even that transformation, Donnie, uh, since Emancipation Proclamation, and just looking at Baltimore when all of those blue collar jobs left, like Sparrows Point, Westinghouse, the Chevrolet plant, all of them was pretty good jobs that you could socially have some upward mobility.
Yeah, blue
But
collar jobs, Spurs Point, Beth Steel, the shipyard. You
exactly,
could buy a house. You got a deuce and a quarter out front.
yeah, I remember those days in the course, yeah. But here's the point that I was trying to make. When you have a large percentage of unskilled labor, then social engineers say, hey, we got to make them the product. I remember back in the day, and stay with me for one moment, nobody wanted a prison in their backyard. Up in Hagerstown, they have a prison industrial complex.
Everybody work in the prison.
Exactly. But before that, they had the Kelly Tire Manufacturing, and they had protested. We don't want these prisons. Keep them old hoodlums and thugs in Baltimore. But when they seen that prisons are recession proof job and job security, their grandfather, the grandmother, and everybody that they know worked there.
You ever see the show called Mayor of Kingstown?
Oh yeah, I watched that a lot. Yep, exactly. Yeah, yep, I watched
the whole town is
one big prison.
On the prison.
Exactly.
Everybody got something to do. The mom, the mayor's mom, she works at the prison teaching. Everything got to do with the prison. The whole daggone kit and caboodle.
And that's what happened. Just look at Hagerstown. It spilled over to Cumberland, Jessup. We had a House of Corruption, MCIJ, Outback, Brockridge, the women's facility, JPRU. It just took over a great landmass where the criminal justice system itself is a breadwinner for a large percentage of the population in Maryland.
How much does it take to make a phone call?
Oh my God, that's another racket. These companies contract with the Department of Correction, and they get a percentage of the inmates or family revenue, the little money that they send the guys, and they make millions and millions of dollars. And I didn't know until recently that the Supermax that used to be on, well, it's still there, the structure is still there. It's called a Chesapeake Detention Center. Which, yeah, on that's Madison's side, on the Madison Street side.
Okay.
It used to be the Supermax, but it's called Chesapeake Detention Facility. It's a private owned jail. And the same way that what is it? The American Correctional Association, I think is ACA. It trades on Wall Street. So those guys that's on the corner calling themselves trapping and all that, you're one of their products. That's how their stock fluctuate. They say, okay, you gave some statistic about our percentage of the population, and the same way in Maryland. I don't know right off the top of my head what percentage Black and brown people are, but I know that they're over 50% of the population in the Department of Correction on any given day and in any given institution here in Maryland.
And Maryland incarcerates at as high a rate as most any other state in the country.
And that, that kind of baffled me too, that because you would think Maryland, when we look at these colors, people say blue and red and purple and all that. But Maryland has a reputation for being a very liberal state to some degree, depending on what part of the state that you travel through. I'm not talking about it way up there in Western Maryland, because I done came through there myself, and I've heard stories about them burning crosses, and they still do that. And a lot of people may say, "Oh, that's not true." Certain parts of the Eastern Shore where people were living in shanties. Only time I've heard the term shanties was in South Africa under apartheid. They
Shanty
say they
town.
had people on the Eastern Shore living in shanties with no running, plumbing, etc. So, although we may be in 2024, I think we better be aware of Project 2025.
What are you grateful for?
Man, I'm just grateful to be alive and to be blessed and able to be in my right mind. Because you always, that's what my mother always used to tell me. She said, I don't care what they do as far as my health, as long as I stay in my right state of mind, I'm blessed. So when you get
Those are the words of the elders and the ancestors. In my right mind.
in my right mind, exactly.
So as we get older, those words kind of resonate even more.
Well, it certainly resonated with me. As many times she had to go slide my head with a broomstick or something. She said, I'm gonna knock some sense in your head. You ever heard that term?
I did. Beat the black off you.
That's right.
Smack
But
taste out your mouth.
no, that's right. And
My father had a backhand. I don't know if he played tennis, but he had a backhand that was so quick. And boy, if you get it with the ring finger, oh my God, the ring right on the tooth.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. I done traveled down that road before. So
And Bin Laden ain't have nothing on Lily Glover. Let me tell you, she was the first terror. If she tell you she gonna get you, best believe before you go to sleep. Oh, why you sleep? You ever wake up tired up?
Man, look, I think you had said that on one of your shows. I done got one of them.
This woman had me tied up. She said, I told you I was gonna get you.
And nowadays, but we have respect though for our community. And I lived in one of those blocks where they had them white marble steps, and we used to keep them steps with Ajax and a scrub brush, and they better be clean. And do you remember the Afro clean block? I think you may be buffering down. Can you hear me? Donnie, you have froze. Okay, let me see what's going on here. Donnie, are you still with me? I think, let me see. Donnie, we must be having some technical difficulties.
We apologize for the technical challenges. What can go wrong in the world? So you were saying, do I remember what?
Donnie, we must have lost the connection.
Yeah.
There you go. You're back.
Yeah, I'm back. So you were saying, do I remember what?
The Afro clean blocks.
Yeah, they had the tire. They would flip the tire
Yeah,
inside out and paint it and
yeah,
put
yeah,
plants in.
exactly. But people took pride in their block though to keep it clean.
Yeah, but something else was
And
going on, and you know better than me. My first
mhm,
memories, I was born in 65. I remember 68, King got killed. I remember the riots. I remember the National Guard on the front of my father's business.
mhm,
I was in East Baltimore at the time. But that was a period when integration was happening.
mhm.
And as we were able to integrate, blacks from West Baltimore started heading out the Liberty Road corridor, out Security Boulevard.
Yep. Randallstown,
And so,
Lockern.
so the old neighborhood, once grandma died,
Yep.
nobody took over grandma's house, and grandma's house is vacant now. And you got squatters in there, and they might not even be black.
Exactly. And we see a lot of that, I know, in the district that I live in the lower part of Emerson Village, where a lot of those men that we had referenced earlier that worked at Beth Steel and all that, they bought these houses. And once they had passed away, they left them to their kids. And for whatever reason, a lot of them got caught up in drugs, and they lost the house for a water bill or a tax lien or something of that nature. So uh, I definitely understand that plight.
So it's called brain drain. Our best and brightest moved out, and the people who stayed were either people who couldn't afford to go out there,
Mm-hmm.
or people who actually loved the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
But now we see non-black people coming to the black community. Some of them are addicts, but then you got other people who are buying property. White
Mm-hmm.
people moving into Sandtown.
Yep. Reservoir Hill, up where I live at. I live up in West Hills, and I moved up here. I've been in this house since 1990, May of 1990. It's like a little over 34 years. And when me and my wife first bought this house, um, we paid like $72,000 for the house. And since then we've modernized and renovated, upgraded kitchens and bathrooms and stuff like that. But then it started changing over, and now it's about, I would still say it's about 60-40. You know what I mean? Because West Hill is very unique. And one of the reasons why I like it is that I can come out my house and jump on 70 and be in Columbia in 15 minutes. I can jump out my house and jump on 695. I could be Owens Mills. 10 or 15 minutes, I could be down in Inner Harbor. So essentially located, and it had good schools, parks, and then they got a real decent community association up here. It's one of the best kept secrets, I think, in the city, and I think in the next maybe 5 to 10 years, this area up here will be like maybe Fells Point or Butcher Hills, where uh, I know a house just sold across the street from me for 265,000, and then a house around the corner is selling for 300,000. So when a community grows and develops, either like you had mentioned about people migrating to the county, either you can afford to be in a house like that, but across the street, I see it looked like a Latino or Hispanic family that moved in, and it looks like
How many
maybe
people?
it's 10 family members in there.
Damn right. We used to live like that, not no more.
Exactly. Not no more. Boy, you got a good memory. You absolutely. And I was telling my son, I said, when people were migrating from down south to the urban areas, we had, they got these air mattresses now. We used to have folding carts. You remember that?
A what?
A folding cart. It was a bed with a mattress in it, but it folds up and you could lock the top.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember. I have seen that.
Yes. I've slept on stuff, so I'm familiar with it, because when our family used to share a house with my uncle, and so we understood that. But to this day, man, me and my brothers and sisters, man, we tight. You know what I mean? Mom did a good job of making sure that we understood what brother and sister and family was. Because now in our family, until my mother got so ill on Sunday, she would wasn't nobody living in the house but her and my older sister. She would still cook like 20 people lived there, because people from the church and family and friends would stop by and they would get a meal.
And that was probably a part of her joy.
Yes. So
my mother, I remember Thanksgiving, she would never sit down. She busy cooking and serving, would not sit down and eat. That was just impossible for her.
We didn't believe that nobody should go hungry, and definitely no friend or relative would be homeless. And we definitely didn't believe in putting our elderly people in a nursing home. Oh no, we didn't do that. And it's one thing now that become very popular is cremation. And I don't know how we did it, but I could never remember in my childhood anybody who had to be cremated, as opposed to everybody getting together, making sure that person had a decent burial.
It's about that Skrilla.
I know.
Matter of fact, Joey Brown is the only black crematory in Baltimore City. Joseph Brown Jr. Actually, I think Joey is the third, right up there on Fulton and he built the crematory. He's the only crematory, black or white, in Baltimore.
I saw some controversy with Von Green.
Von Green
on York Road.
He wanted to open up one, but the community, he didn't.
Right.
You got to get the community. You got to get the community first. You got to get the community first. You got to plan it. Joey planned it. Joey, hey. So my dad was a funeral director.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I lived above a funeral home in East Baltimore until I was about 8 years old. 2 of them.
Wow. Okay.
Patterson Park in Landville. That's where I remember 68, the National Guard, the tanks coming up North Avenue.
Right.
I remember they were taking steel wool, connecting it to a coat hanger, and lighting on fire and throwing it through the air.
Mm-hmm.
Then we moved down to North in between Boone and Homewood, 700 block, 712, 714. It was a double house, 3-story joint. I had a big old playroom on the 3rd floor, but downstairs was the morgue, the funeral chapel.
Mm-hmm.
So all that to say, Joey and I, we've known each other for a long time.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure he's made his family's legacy real proud.
Yeah, because they was on Baltimore Street at one time.
I want to say Montgomery Street. I could be wrong.
I know they was on Baltimore, right by Baltimore and Monroe, before they moved up there.
Yeah, but I think before that they were initially in South Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore and Monroe. That sounds sounds about right. Yes, sir. Joseph Brown, his daddy, my daddy, Leroy Dot, Vernon Bailey. They called them the Four Horsemen.
Oh, okay. That was like the funeral home is still in Sandtown. Was it Morton and Died?
Morton and Died. Yeah. Now it's just Morton's.
Right. I saw that. I drove through
Yeah.
it. I seen it's just Morton. But I think the Godfather was Mr. March.
No question.
Yeah.
No question. That man, Heart of Gold, retired postal officer, retired postal worker. Matter of fact, I got a scholarship from him. His sister went to Dunbar. She died in a fire. I think her name was Thelma. And I was one of the first recipients of the Thelma March Memorial Scholarship.
Yeah, he got a serious legacy, man.
And the children, see, when the children pick up the trade, that's legacy. Me, myself, I saw too many dead, smelled too many dead bodies. I can't stand the smell. But I will say this. My dad trained me to be a journalist.
You a damn good journalist, boy. I'm gonna tell you, man. We do this. I'm tip my hat to you.
To God be the glory. We had a great story on this week. We had David Bramble on.
Yeah, David, the developer.
We got the story that nobody else got. All the big time media outlets, this network, Be More News, Black USA. We had David Bramble on, and he's a part of a family legacy. So family is everything when it comes to mental health. You were saying that you and your siblings are tight. We talked about the Marsh family. He's got what's his daughter name? Annette, Victor, and then their children. So the family that prays together, that works together, stays together. And like you said, we mentioned earlier, them Latinos will live 15 deep. Black people ain't doing that now. We've become Americanized. I'll tell you who else. When you look at the Koreans, the first generation Koreans that can barely speak English, but you look at the second and third, the ones that speak English, they ain't trying to work all that hard.
You better know
they done got soft. Just like we used to work the hotel jobs. We used to wait tables. We used to, clean people's houses. Man, can't ever stand on that corner. Talking about blues. Rather do that all day, looking over his back, looking out for the stick-up kid or the police all day long, than to work a job or to go to school. And here's the thing that get me. I'd love to get your feedback. And it's just a thought. We'll say not everybody's made for college. But when they go over that damn jail, don't they got to sit in that classroom?
Better know it. You
telling me a cat can ride a motorcycle, a dirt bike up Pennsylvania Avenue with one hand popping a wheelie, other hand in there like he riding a cow. But you telling me he not made for college. I just don't believe it. And it's kind of like when they took the grades and said 60 is passing. That means you got damn near half of them wrong. That's not passing. I don't want you working for my company with a 60. You got damn near half of them wrong. So it's like it's the dummying down. And I think that's a part of the psychosis of Baltimore, let alone the historic racism. Did you know that Baltimore is the home of segregation going back to 1910? Oh, they put the first housing ordinances in here. Roland Park did it.
That's right.
They got a black
community. On the red line.
Yeah. Whites couldn't move into black neighborhoods. Blacks couldn't move into white neighborhoods.
But that was also the banking. The red area was areas where blacks.
No loan. Yeah,
right,
no
loan. That banking industry is something, man. I tip my hat off to Joe Haskins and Harbor Bank. I got an account with them. But you had guys like Lil Willie Adams, who did a great deal helping black businesses, and most of the politicians in Baltimore City really owe him a debt of gratitude. They may not want to admit it publicly, but he was, I would say, the de facto
I got a
godfather.
question for you. This is in the realm of mental health, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
One, I commend you for not losing your damn mind when you left office.
Mm-hmm.
A lot, I've seen it. You've seen it. Having that prefix DEL, city councilman, SEN dot.
Mm-hmm. Because
When that's taken, when cat lose that, not everybody rebound, Dr. Ali.
absolutely, you know, one of the
Billy
reasons
Murphy
why.
rebounded.
Let me share something with you. When people internalize titles and positions, then they lose their identity. And once that title or position is taken away, that's when this what we call cognitive dissonance start taking place, because now you don't know who you are. You're gonna go jump out a window or do something very bizarre. I never had that problem because I pretty much knew who I was, and that was just a chapter in my life, and I just move on, you know. Wait a minute. I think we may have another technical glitch.